yo, I smashed Cecily last night. I'm like, what? At first I didn't believe him really. I thought he was kind of playing.
You all had a sexual relationship.
He's just mad because I smashed first, so.
I knocked on the door, I heard him, I said I was done, and I walked out. Started walking down the road.
Did you know they were having sex? What did you hear?
You could hear them.
So I need to be clear. Did you state that you had a threesome with your husband and your boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
Ms. Gelnser discloses how her life has been in turmoil due to this paternity case. Plus, she drops this bombshell.
For the fact of the matter that I'm still married to John, that I am in a relationship with Scotty, and just everything's been upside down, not knowing who with the twins.
And now you believe your fraternal twins have two different fathers.
That they possibly could have two different fathers.
Wow.
Mr. Ramey says he doesn't believe the twins are his, while Miss Gelnser says she had sex with her husband in the bathroom, while her boyfriend, Mr. Stacy, was playing video games in a room down the hall.
They don't resemble my two biological children that I have with Miss Gelnser.
Okay. How did we get into this confusion with conception?
December 15th, John, Keisha, Scotty, and I was at the house, and Scotty and John were working on the bathroom to get it fixed up.
So your boyfriend and your husband were working on the bathroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And after they had gotten the floor put down, Scotty went into our room, was playing his games in our room. Keisha was in the living room, watched TV, I guess. And John said, come look at the bathroom. He said, we got to talk about the kids, close the door. And then one thing led to another, and we had sex.
Mr. Stacy recounts what happened and what he did when he found out.
I knocked on the door, I heard them, I said I was done, and I walked out. Started walking down the road.
Did you know they were having sex? What did you hear?
You could hear them.
So you knew immediately?
Yes.
And you just said, I'm done, and you left?
Yes.
This is why Ms. Gelnser believes both men fathered her twins.
It was September 17th was the final due date.
And from that, you calculated, or they calculated, a window of conception?
Yes, and when they gave me the due date, they also gave me a paper stating that baby A, which was Richard, was 5 weeks and 2 days, and Raylan was 5 weeks and 4 days.
Ah, and that was how many weeks, days after you had slept with both of them?
I was 5.5 weeks.
This shocking confession from Miss Gelnser is the root of this paternity mystery.
Yeah, but, to be all honest, I've been with these men together, okay? I mean, I'm not going to be thrown under the bus with this.
I forgot about that, yes, Dad.
I mean, I was with them together, and I just want answers for my children because they deserve to know, and John and Scotty deserve to know.
So I need to be clear. Did you state that you had a threesome with your husband and your boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
Judge Lawrence states that to solve this mystery, there's a need for 2 paternity tests.
Because fraternal twins could have different biological fathers, we performed individual paternity tests on Richard and Raylan.
So, the first DNA test result proves that
in the case of Gelnser versus Ramey, when it comes to 8-month-old Raylan Ramey, it has been determined by this court the biological father is Mr. Stacy.
and the second one shows.
In the case of Gelnser versus Ramey, when it comes to 8-month-old Richard Ramey, it has been determined by this court the biological father is Mr. Stacy.
The Eggleston identical twins tell the court what brought about this paternity questioning.
Okay,
Okay, well, it all started about a year ago at his birthday party. And we overheard him speaking to some of our family members saying, y'all know these not my kids. That's what he was saying. We heard him. Now, we was listening, saying to our family members, y'all know they're not my kids.
I'm down here raising all these sins and nobody is helping.
Okay.
That's what he was explaining to the rest of our family members.
But our family members didn't say anything back.
Yeah,
Nobody
was
said
dry.
anything. It was just dry. But I'm thinking he's just speaking under the influence of alcohol.
Mr. Eggleston says he knew from the start that the twins weren't his, but still raised them, and here's why.
Knowing from the start that I knew they wasn't mine, but you know, something overcame me that.
So let me get to the part. You knew their mother.
Yes, I did.
So how did that happen?
Well, I was coming home one day and she was in the backyard barbecuing, and I noticed this big, beautiful smile, big breasts. And,
Notice those, huh?
yeah, and the big cheeseburgers on the grill.
Okay.
Made a date, you know. Eventually, we got together, and next thing you know, I'm living in her mama's basement, and not too soon after that, she's on the phone calling some guy out, and I'm telling him to send money. You know, I'm pregnant, and she's looking at me going like this.
Mr. Eggleston says this is why he doubts the twins are his. Plus, he and the twins get into an argument.
Why? Why doubt?
When I seen them coming out, they was glowing.
They were glowing.
Yeah. Look how pale they was, and plus the gook on their body. You know, they was shining.
So when they were born, you say they were glowing because they were very pale.
Yes. And you know, I didn't have intentions on signing it, but you know.
So what's your point of saying you're not?
Why even tell us?
So why did you sign the
Because you know
birth
now I'm getting this mouth, I'm getting this tension.
It doesn't matter if you promised our mom.
I never speak to you again.
It
I hate
doesn't
you. I'm the
matter.
sorriest dad around.
Because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do.
Give you allowance.
The twins express how they feel regarding the whole situation.
It just sucks, you know, because my mom, she's gone. So even if whatever the DNA test shows, we don't even have her side, you know?
When did you lose your mom?
When we were 8 years old in front of us. You know what I'm saying? It happened in front of us, but nobody never asked how we were doing. You know,
The twins' mother's first cousin, Ms. Johnson, sheds more light regarding the white man Mr. Eggleston believes is the father of the twins. Plus, he says this is who the man is to the twins' mother. Mr. Eggleston admits that he only speculates that a white man is the twins' father and has no solid proof. But the Eggleston twins say they heard this regarding this case one time.
She was 10 years older than me, but I was 10, and you kind of look up to them, you know, the makeup, all that kind of
like
stuff.
sisters.
So,
You were like the younger
got,
sister.
and I'm an only child, so that's how it was. But he's talking about a white man that actually, I don't know how to word it, but I want to say he was like her John. He didn't care if she was pregnant. He would have sent her money just because that's what they do. That's what they do. That was his purpose of being there. And she didn't just call once. He sent money often.
Exactly.
Before she got pregnant, he was sending money.
So what you're saying is their mom did have a relationship with a white man
Yes,
that
ma'am.
she knew and
Yeah.
she had a relationship with.
Yeah.
And here are both parties' expectations from this case.
you know, I have always had that daddy's little girl mentality.
Yeah.
You know, coming from my point of view, I want him to be the dad, you know, because it didn't matter what he did, how I felt, how she felt. I always knew that I'm gonna be daddy's little girl. If you my dad, you still should have did better. If you're not my dad, then you should have
still
kept
shoulda
your
did
dad.
Mr. Eggleston, I see you becoming emotional right now.
That was a big step.
And this is an opportunity for you to not speak out of anger and for you to speak from your heart, because I see you're very emotional. What do you feel now?
I'm going to always love them. Whether,
Right.
however I
That's
show
what
it,
they
however I
want.
feel it, you know, they are part of me.
Well said.
And the paternity test result proves that
When it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodnea Eggleston, Mr. Eggleston, you are their father.
Mrs. Johnson states why this paternity case is crucial to her marriage and relationship with her mother-in-law, while Mr. Johnson discloses what is going on.
I just want to approve it so we can move on with our life. I want Ms. Davis out of our lives for good. is bringing problems with us and with me and my mother-in-law.
So you admit you're a married man and you're torn between two women now.
Basically, but now I'm not gonna say now because me and Miss Davis don't have any more dealings.
But she's still wreaking havoc on your relationship.
I'm not gonna necessarily say that, but
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say, being that I don't know for sure if the kids are mine, yeah, that's causing havoc.
Ms. Davis shares how she met Mr. Johnson and revealed some jaw-dropping revelations.
Somebody introduced me to him.
Okay.
So we was together for a little while, you know what I'm saying?
Did you know he was in a relationship with Miss Johnson?
No, not really until like a couple years, probably like a year or so. I seen the little married pictures on Facebook or whatever. So I was like, so when this come about, you know?
Did you confront him about, are you married?
No, I ain't confronting him. You know, I asked him about it because it ain't my concern because you ain't my man, you know?
And so what did he say?
I want to be with you and, you know, we'll get the papers and we can go from there. I got the papers, okay?
Oh, you told him to get the papers as in divorce papers?
Yeah.
And if he really wanted to be with you, then you would let him be with you?
Yeah, we can go for there, you know, talk about it, whatever. But see, it's another lady involved too. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mrs. Johnson discloses how she knew about Ms. Davis's pregnancy.
I actually seen her. We went to the same doctor's office.
What?
Yes, she want to be the wife. She will never be the wife. I'm not going anywhere.
Well, hold on. Take me back to
would
the...
never
wait, I
try
want
to
to
be
go
the
back
wife.
to the same doctor part. You're talking about OBGYN doctor, baby delivering doctor?
The baby doctor.
So you both were pregnant at the same time?
We were pregnant at the same time.
Yeah. All us. It's the other women too. All us. Yes.
Our babies might be
like
7 weeks apart.
Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Johnson's mother, sheds more light on the case.
I heard that the twins might be my grands, so I asked Miss Davis were they my grands, and she said no, ma'am. I think after she had them, I asked her again, and I said, well, bring them back so I can see them. And she brought them to my house. I think they were maybe 4 or 5 months. And I looked at them, and I said, well, this one looks like his son. And I said, so you sure that's something that you don't need to tell me? And she just smiled, like she's doing now, and she said, talk to your son. And she said, I'll give him a test if he wanted. And that's when she basically confirmed for me.
Ms. Davis reveals the paternity mystery in this case and backs up her claims with this.
You do admit, though, I mean, Ms. Johnson has testified to this, and you said, too, because of your denial. You admit that initially you told Mr. Johnson and his mother, these are not his children.
Yeah.
And so you now believe the twins are his children.
Well, one of them, because they fraternal, they was in different sex.
A medical expert states that there's a possibility for whatever has happened to happen.
And Ms. Davis, you did testify. You were very honest about the fact that it is very possible that you slept with Mr. Johnson one day and then a couple days later also had sex with your ex.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So can you tell us what the odds are? What are we looking at here? Is this something that's close to a miracle, or is this something that is more common than we are informed about?
What they've found is, and there's a lot about genetics now, is there is actually a gene where it typically follows the maternal line, but there are some women who will have that gene where they either the hormone responds more, the egg responds more, or the hormone is more virulent.
Okay.
And you will release more than one egg at a time.
However, to be sure, DNA test results are important, and they reveal.
In the case of Johnson versus Davis, when it comes to 1-year-old Christian Davis, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Johnson, you are not the father.
Your Honor, when the night kind of winded down and everybody started passing out, Cecily was still turned up. So, I seen in my eyes like, okay, she must be the pop-off of the group. So, one thing led to another. We ended up in the bathroom and I smashed, took her down. Wasn't that hard.
Why do you keep on lying?
Real, come
Your
on
Honor,
now.
this is not the first time he's
honest,
been
though.
trying to make these lies up about me.
When you think of identical twins, you know, the beauty of it and what people always admire is that they share everything. They dress alike sometimes, they look alike, they like to do the same things often. But there's something that twins should not share. And that would be sexual partners